I'm going over Grange Crags again to see if autumn's now at full throttle. Why not come with me? Well, good afternoon, and you find me once again still in the Lake District, and it is only just afternoon. It's probably about 12:30, something like that at the moment. I had intended to come out a bit early, but as is my wont, I didn't manage it as per usual. But anyway, so what are we doing today? We will come back to a place we came to. It must be 2 to 3 weeks ago, and it's Grange Crags, which is a very popular place for autumnal images. And I just found when I came then, although autumn had come, it hadn't really peaked, wasn't in full throw, shall we say. So I decided I would come back, and just looking, if I turn round, if you see the fell behind me, there's certainly a lot more colour than when I last came. When I last came, that was very, very green, and I think part of the problem is we get different trees that autumn affects at different times, and although when I last came there were some that were turning, there was an awful lot that weren't. But now I think we have got quite a few that are turning, so hopefully this will be a nice little walk with some nice or some great autumnal images. So yeah, let's just, I've got plenty of time. I just need to take my time, open my eyes, see what there is to be seen, and capture the images. I must admit that the image straight ahead, I'm not quite sure what the cliff is called. If I just flip you around, there's quite a lot of colour there, and the nice and there's the top there with the bit and that. So I might see if I can come up with a bit of a composition for that before I get into the woods properly. So I'll just bring you back round, and we'll say, yeah, we'll stop rambling on, we'll have a wander around, get some images, and we'll catch up with you a bit later. Right, we'll come up with our first, shall we say, proper composition. I did take a handheld picture as I was walking to here. I haven't come very far, and I'll have put that up in the B-roll. It was what I talked about earlier on with the mountain or fell, with the cliff and the colours out there. But I've come across this tree, and we'll just zoom in there. It's just quite a nice little tree that is proud of the forest, so to speak. And we've set the camera, we'll zoom back out, we'll set the camera up there quite low. I was wanting, yeah, as we look at the tree, we'll zoom back in again. I've just come low I just felt it would go more, stand out a bit more lower. I just felt going too high, we were looking down on it a bit, because it is at a lower level than we are. And what I've tried to do, I've taken 3 different images at different apertures. It was aperture that was the concern here more than shutter speed. So the first one I took was fully open at 2.8, and that gave me a 40th of a second. Because what I'm aiming to do is I want the tree in focus, but I want everything else behind it to be going slightly soft. So I did 2.8, and I wasn't quite sure what sort of depth of field that would leave me with, and whether some of the tree might be slightly out of focus. So I took 2 more. The next one, I just opened it up a stop, so that from 2.8 that goes to f4, and the shutter speed went to a 20th of a second, and then I took a 5.6 at a 10th of a second. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see what it comes out like. It's quite a nice little tree, and yeah, whichever I feel is the best image, I'll put that up, and then we'll head on into the wooded area there, following the stream, and then eventually up on to the top round there, where there are some trees I'm hoping will be quite nice. So yeah, we'll put the image up and we'll catch up with you a little bit later. Right, well, rather than staying on the sort of path as we did last time, we've actually come down to the stream, because when I came here, I think it's 2-3 years ago, I did get some nice images of the stream, although I'm not exactly sure where we took them. So here we are at the stream. Unfortunately, there's not a huge amount of water coming down. It'd be nicer if there was more water, but we've got the camera here. We've got the tripod at full height on this occasion. I felt that was the right thing to do. But what we're going to do is we're going to record through the camera, and there it is recording. So that's the scene. As I've explained many times, the actual image taken is 6:4, whereas the video is 16:9, so we do lose a bit off the top and bottom, although I am quite prone to cropping to a 16:9 image. So here we have the scene, and we've got this oak tree here, but we've got the stream as it comes, and it's coming round here, and we've got the bracken and a bit of leaves, so we've got some colour. So we're going to try that, and we'll try different exposures. I think I've already taken some at sort of half a second and a second to smooth out the water. So yeah, so that's that image. So we'll just stop that recording. But what I was thinking of doing, if I can just manage to come up here without falling on this stream, we'll come up here to move into whoa. Just got to be careful because some of the rocks are a little bit slippy. So yeah, we'll come up to, I don't know whether you can see my bag up there as I manage to come up. As we come up here to where I put the bag down. If we get low, there's sort of like a little bit of a, if I zoom in there, don't know whether you can see it, there's a sort of a bit of a tunnel with the trees and the stream and that. So I was thinking once I've got the image that we've just shown you, I'll come here and maybe with a longer lens zoom in and see what we can get there. That might be quite nice. And what we'll do is put the best of the images up excuse me, on the video, and then we'll probably go back up to the path, which is up there somewhere, and work our way along and see what else we can come with. But yeah, whatever happens, we'll see you a little bit later. Right, well, we took the second composition that you'll have seen that I talked about, and I was planning on heading off, but I haven't. So why haven't I moved off? As you can see, the bag's there more or less still in the same place, and we came across this gnarly tree. I believe it's a hawthorn tree, and I just couldn't resist it. What I want to try and do, whether this will work or not, I'm not quite sure. I just want to show you the back of the screen. If I come back and just zoom in a bit. So that's the screen. As you can see, I've got these two lines here. So I've framed it up as a square crop. That's why I wanted to show you on the back of the screen here rather than the video, because you can't do the video as a square. Yeah, and it's just, I mean, nature amazes me sometimes. God's world is just amazing. And this, I just happened, I'd put everything in the bag, was about to put the bag on my back, and suddenly, I don't know whether I walked back or not, but just saw this tree with all the moss on it, which is the sign of a rainforest. So yeah, so hopefully that you'll quite like that. So all right, that's gone off. And then so yeah, I think we're definitely now going to head up towards the top. So yeah, we're having a great afternoon. We're not in any rush, we're taking our time, well, until I realise I've taken too much time. But yeah, I know it's quite good. So yep, there's the bag. We'll put this image up, and then we'll scuttle up that bit of bank in there and onto the path, and we'll see you a bit later. Right, I've left my bag over there and I've come for a wander on the sort of topish of Grange Crags. I remember when I came last time I said there's a couple of trees that really make a good composition, and I'm struggling to work out which ones they are. There are one or two trees down, presumably that was Storm Amy that contributed to that, but I'm just wondering whether it's these two trees here. But they are still quite green. They're not really autumnal yet. So, but yeah, it's, I mean, if we just look across there, it's just patchwork of different greens, yellows, etc., rustic colours. So yeah, right, we're going to head back to the bag, which is over there, and then we'll carry on through that bit of wood and then down towards the road where there's possibly quite a few compositions. So yep, we'll catch up with you a little bit later. Right, we've come on a bit further, and I've come across what I think is quite a nice little scene. I'll zoom in so you can see. Don't know where you can see that there's quite a big, I'm assuming it's a silver birch that's a mixture of greens and yellows, so it's turning, but in front of it there is a totally leafless, although there are berries on it, I don't know whether you can see them on the video, of a hawthorn tree. And I just felt that the two together were quite good. I mean, I don't know whether we'll be able to show it on the back of the camera. Yeah, there's, on the back of the camera there's the composition, and again, like a previous one, as you can see, I've got the lines, so I'm going to do it to a square crop. Yeah, I just think it looked quite nice. I have for the last little bit been taking some handheld images as well. Some are very, very similar compositions to what I took when I was here 2-3 weeks ago, so you'll have seen them because I'll put them in the B-roll so they're in sequence, but I may have, and you'll already have seen it, put up the ones that I did take at the time just so you can see the difference. But yeah, it's a very still afternoon, and unfortunately I forgot to bring my phone. I'm assuming it's at home. It certainly wasn't in my pocket when I got here. Fortunately, I know where I'm going because I often rely on my phone for the map, although I normally do have a paper map in my bag as well. I'm not quite sure where I've got one or not, but I do know I have been here a number of times, so I know where I'm going. But I do need the phone to get the drone up, and I was thinking, oh, it's so still, it would make ideal drone weather, but unfortunately without having the phone I can't get the drone up, so that's a bit of a shame. So yeah, we've got this image, we're going to carry on down, see what other images we can get, and whatever happens, we'll see you a little bit later. Right, well, we've stopped again for another composition, and this one I've definitely taken before, at least twice, and I'm just taking it again just to see if I can get a slightly better composition. If I just move to the side, you'll see that the camera is there. Let's we'll zoom out. You'll see the camera's there, and it's actually off the path into the bracken. And the reason I've done it here is I want the tree in the middle of the crag, which it is more or less there. I've taken a portrait image, but I will be cropping it, either depending on how the image fits, definitely to a 4:5, possibly to a square crop. I think a square crop might be just too much and might lose some of what I've taken, so the probability is it's going to be 4:5. As you well know, I'm not very keen on 4:6s. Occasionally I do them, because occasionally they have the place, but often if I'm doing portrait mode, I will crop down to at least 4:5. So yeah, this is probably the last the last composition with the tripod, whether I take any other handheld images. We're getting towards the road now. I mean, I can hear it. The other thing I don't think I've mentioned I could hear on was a bit of a roaring, and wondering, well, what's that roaring? We don't have bears. Is it cattle roaring? I don't know. But then it twigged it's the rutting season, so what I could hear was that the stags roaring. I'm not an expert, well, I don't really know anything about deer and that, so whether the roaring attracts the female deers, or whether that's to scare off other stags from their territory, I don't know, but I did hear some of that. So yeah, so anyway, we'll put this image up and maybe put others just to compare it against, and hopefully it's a better one than I've got at other times. And it would be nice if the light was better, if there was some light shining on it, and Castle Crag was a bit more dark behind, but it is what it is. Yeah, but anyway, we'll put the picture up and we'll catch up with you a little bit later. Right, I'm back on the road again, and yeah, it's been a good afternoon. It's yeah, autumn certainly is in full throttle. It leaves a little bit to be desired in some places, but I think I've got some great images. It was well worth coming back, and as you will have seen, I've put some of the images I took, what be it, 2-3 weeks ago, just for comparison purposes, just so you can see what the change has been, and that's been quite good. I'm just debating whether there's any more scope for autumn pictures, or whether we're getting a bit what's the word, a bit too far gone, that too many of the leaves have come down. I don't know. I was thinking maybe of going to Rydal Water, which is supposed to be a good place to get the colours from a distance, so we'll maybe think about that. But hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, and if you haven't already done so, please click the thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing, why not subscribe? It doesn't cost anything, and it does the channel great good. And the thing I really do appreciate is all your comments. Those really buoy me up and help me to tweak the channel to know things to avoid that many of you don't like. So yeah, as I say, well, maybe I'll go to Rydal Water next. I haven't anything else in mind at the moment. We are back to a bit hand to mouth. Today is Monday, and hopefully this will go up on Wednesday, and I need to try and get another one out to go up on Sunday. So anyway, we'll stop rambling on, and we'll see you on the next video.